It's 6:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. A growing number of people are falling deeper into debt in the Hunter. New figures show 936 people entered personal insolvency last year, almost double the number from 2013. The problem is worse in the Upper Hunter, along with the Cessnock area and Port Stephens. Organisers are expecting a large turnout to a meeting tonight at Newcastle City Hall to hear feedback from commuters following the truncation of the inner city rail line. The meeting starts at 7 and coincides with the launch of the Keep the Hunter on Track campaign. David Blythe from the Hunter Concerned Citizens Group says the bad government's plans are already having an impact on commuters.
There's been a litany of complaints and a deluge of complaints about the inconvenience and the suffering, particularly of people who are incapacitated in some way or aged or have children to look after. But that's not only it. The problem for people who come from Sydney and want to go up the valley, it's quite a problem. If you miss the connection, it's a long time to wait for the next train. Surfest
organisers say safety is their top priority as they deal with ongoing shark sightings at Newcastle beaches. 2 sharks were spotted yesterday, one in the harbour, the other near the Cowrie Hole, forcing beach closures. The Indigenous Classic is set to start at Merewether today, while the main contest kicks off on Monday. Organisers will be working closely with lifeguards and will have a jet ski patrolling the water. Charlton MP Pat Conroy is calling for the Prime Minister to take an economic interest in the Hunter. The MP is fighting for an opportunity for the Hunter to be considered under the government's Industry Growth Centres initiatives and wants an urgent review of innovation and industry policies. Pat Conroy says the region needs investments to thrive.
Calling for the Prime Minister, if he's genuine about rebooting his government's agenda, to start investing in Hunter jobs. Since last year, since this government was formed, we've seen the unemployment rate in our region double, and that means more families devastated by unemployment. So we need urgent investment to bring more jobs into our region.
The Nationals haven't wasted any time in finding a new candidate for Cessnock at the state election. Jessica Price-Purnell, who is a staffer for Education Minister Adrian Piccoli, has been endorsed and replaces rocker Angry Anderson, who pulled out at the weekend for personal reasons. The 29-year-old will take on sitting Labor MP Clayton Barr. Newcastle SES units will be holding an information night tonight for people interested in volunteering for the organisation. SES volunteers are trained for roles to help the community in times of bushfires, floods and other emergencies. Local SES volunteer Gary Luxton is inviting everyone interested in helping out to come along.
Our meeting will be held tonight at 7 p.m. at the Newcastle SES headquarters, which is on the corner of Elizabeth and Hannell Streets at Tice Hill. It's the same building as the RSPCA use, so a lot of our local listeners might know where the RSPCA is there if they come there in the same building.
And briefly, the Newcastle arts community has come up with a new idea for the city's historic train station, calling for it to be turned into a cultural and creative hub, complete with galleries and studios. And 2 companies operating out of Williamtown RAF Base have been awarded major defence contracts to maintain the Joint Strike Fighter jets. Now with sport, Belinda Delasaris.
Newcastle Knights prop Sam Mataora is preparing to bring his best after being named in Saturday's trial against Walcope and Port Macquarie. The 24-year-old will partner former New South Wales and Australian prop Cade Snowden as he looks to earn his place in next week's NRL warm-up against the Raiders in Queanbeyan. Fellow New South Wales Cup bookend Pat Vaivai will play at lock, with Auckland Nine standouts Jake Mamo and Chanel Matautia to start on the wing. Jets defender Daniel Mullen has pulled his teammates on notice ahead of Saturday's clash with the Wanderers. He's warning the boys to expect a dramatic turn of form from the cellar dwellers, who'll come into the match with a confidence boost after ending their winless run with a 2-0 victory over Wellington last week. Mullen insists they'll have to bring their A-game. And Central Coast surfer Russell Maloney is about to begin the fight to retain his Surfest crown ahead of today's Indigenous Classic in Merewether. That's sport. I'm Belinda Delas Harris.
To a new RFM News Time, 26 to 7.